As we said, that soccer background from Hishir Astro, that was the best free kick he's maybe had in his whole soccer career, and that's in the MMA cage. Let's keep the action rolling with Mr. Throwdown, Pete Trevino.
Let's keep it going, BTC fight fans. Your next matchup is scheduled for 3 rounds in the bantamweight division. Here come your fighters. First, making his way into the blue corner, please welcome Shane Melo.
As you can see on your screen right now, that BTC Fight Promotions is brought to you by JYM Supplement Science. From pre-workouts to protein blends and more, get everything you need for optimal performance with only the cleanest ingredients. Scan the QR code on your screen and use promo code SPECTATION for 10% off your entire supplement line. Well, there's Shane Melo as he's made the walk back to the BTC cage, Gino, and Shane Melo's coming off a very impressive victory back at BTC 29 in the month of June, a first-round rear naked choke victory over the very tough and very game Cole King. And the one thing we like about Shane, he's come from a very good gym, that Mass Academy in Cambridge, Ontario, as well. He's getting to be more active. His amateur debut was back in 2015. Then amateur went away, returns to the cage back in June. Starting to get a little bit more, consistency going. That's the word I was looking for, consistency, and that's key to developing his skills.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, though, it didn't look like it was 10 years off. He came in, he just sliced through that guard. He was the one who landed on his back first, but he was able to reverse, get on top, get that rear naked choke. It was brilliant. So he's got 2 wins. Both by rear naked choke, purple belt in jiu-jitsu with a really great team, mass striking academies, known for their striking, but they're also known for their grappling. So really, really impressive. And now being active, like you're saying, is only going to pay dividends for him.
Well, it's very confident right now as Shane Melo steps back inside the BTC cage. And this is one of the amateur fights we've all got circled for what should be a sensational bout here at BTC 32.
And his opponent making his way into the red corner, please welcome Miko Dusek.
Well, there you see Miko Dusek, the man that'll start the night off as one of the true guys from Niagara top team. And Miko Dusek here, Gino, he's been sensational in his 2 amateur fights that he's had with BTC. Won a very close split decision against Lenny White at BTC 28 in May, and then really put on a good clinic to get more cage time, a 3rd-round rear naked choke victory over the veteran Tishon Cesar Gabriel. And he wants to start the night out right here for Niagara top team in his hometown of Niagara Falls.
Oh, absolutely, and there's nothing like starting off the team right. Helping the team start that momentum build, and he loves it. This is what he wants to do. Miko has built his career in such a deliberate and intelligent way. He started off as really a grappler. Then he was taking kickboxing fights. Then even in his MMA fights, his fight with Lenny White. Amazing back and forth fight. His fight with Tishon, he took a guy with a ton more fights than he did, and, was very intentional. I want to be able to try every facet of this game. I want to be able to challenge myself in all areas, even in the cage. And, he's really built himself into a really well-rounded mixed martial artist as a result.
And you see the guys that he's with, of course, one of the co-founders of Niagara Top Team, Matt the Cat DeMarc Antonio, once again Kevin Popovic-Maston, and a guy that's really taken Miko under his wing, the Sheriff, Jared Dumont. And as well, Miko feels a little disrespected. He saw an interview with Shane Melo saying that he's going to run through Miko. I think Miko took this fight originally with some good respect, but now there's some animosity, at least in the side of Miko. He didn't like those comments, and we'll see if that motivates him even more to have a better performance than what we've seen in the past from Miko Dusek here at BTC 32.
Oh, and absolutely. And when you have 2 guys who are both undefeated, the confidence is going to be at an all-time high. And the tension's going to be at an all-time high, and I can't say I can't be any more excited for this one.
Well, let's get in with Mr. Throwdown, Pete Trevino.
And here we go, BTC fight fans and spectation sport fans watching at home. The following matchup is scheduled for 3 rounds in the bantamweight division. Somebody's O has to go. This fight is being brought to you by Endorphins Health and Wellness Center and Stein Appliance Service. Scheduled for 3 rounds in the bantamweight division with your referee, Ivan Speck. And now, introducing the undefeated fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed in red and white. Standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, he weighed in at 135.6 pounds. He's a freestyle mixed martial artist representing Muay Thai boxing. He comes to the BTC cage undefeated with a record of 2 wins, no losses, and no draws, with both of those wins coming by way of submission. Fighting out of and representing Cambridge, Ontario, ladies and gentlemen, here is Shane Melo. His opponent across the cage fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks, trimmed in red, green, and white. Standing 5 feet 5 inches tall, he weighed in at 136.2 pounds. He's a grappling specialist representing Niagara Top Team. He comes to the BTC cage undefeated with a record of 2 wins, no losses, and no draws, with one of those wins coming by way of submission. Fighting out of and representing St. Catharines, Ontario, ladies and gentlemen, here is Miko Dusek. This BTC bantamweight matchup will be decided in 3 rounds or less.
This one's going to be one of the most anticipated fights on the card as Shane Melo takes on Miko Dusek. Both fighters take the center of the cage.
You can see immediately the height difference. I think it's going to be a big factor if Miko can get inside and Shane can keep him on the outside.
Good inside leg kick, though, from Dusek. Get that push kick going there is Shane Melo.
Really interesting. You don't see often as a southpaw versus southpaw matchup. So it's actually more conventional, something that they maybe not get as many reps in. So you got to think that they definitely took the time for this camp to specifically address those things.
And that left hook there from Shane Melo just grazed the top of the head there of Dusek. Leg kick again there from Melo. Melo starting to find his flow state. But a big smile on the face there of Dusek.
Oh, he's enjoying this.
Trying to take apart the lead leg. There is Melo, but Dusek will come in.
They're both throwing a lot of those shorter range shots, like the hooks, the leg kicks, you know, just to kind of build inside. That seems to be very much part of both of their game plans.
Both fighters, you can just tell right now, Gina, trying to impose their will on each other. And, of course, with the amateur, it's those 3-minute rounds versus 5.
Absolutely.
So the tape just came off the glove of Melo. High kick there from Melo as he's trying to put Dusek up against the fence.
Miko doing a good job addressing that and reversing the position.
Good job on the switch there by Dusek. As Dusek now trying to impose as well, but a good knee to the body came. Big judo throw from Shane Melo. Trying to work in side control here is Melo.
He's doing a really good job of staying patient in this position, but being active enough so they don't get stood up. They don't even. So he's working it. It's really good. With less than a minute left, this is a really good start for him for this round.
And, of course, Shane Melo is coming off that first-round rear naked choke win back in June. Trying to build off that, taking some good grappling, got the fight to the ground with that good judo throw. But Dusek right in his corner and gets back to a vertical base.
Yeah, beautiful.
And he gets the trip. Beautiful takedown there from Miko Dusek.
That trip takedown, thing of beauty, right off as he's getting up.
Beautiful timing of that takedown there from Dusek.
And you would have to think, being at the end of the round, this is probably going to be one of the things the judges remember. It's a really close round thus far.
Very, very close round, and that's a good point. And can see if Dusek add any more style points towards the end of the round, as we heard the 10-second clapper. And that'll do it for round one.
Really good first round. Really good first round of action. Both of them landed some great shots. Both of them each split a takedown. Good start.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights here. This is the takedown coming from Shane Melo.
Yeah, and you see it right there. Just that beautiful judo triple right to that side control position. You know, he's working it pretty good. Wasn't able to land on as much ground and pound as maybe he wanted. And Miko, you know, but he did have those positions there. And that counts.
And then that's from that point on, Miko was able to get back to a vertical, but get his own takedown and really put on the better moments for the last minute. So it's a tough round to score if you're the judges, I think, Gino.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that what's going to dictate is the way they see it as maybe in the striking as a whole. Because I would say the takedowns and the ground and pound are probably a wash.
And from what we've seen from the judges as of late, on the amateur and pro sides here at BTC, the judges more so remember the damage. And really, I think if you look at what the striking was in that first round, it was kind of even.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. I think this round, I think we could definitely see judges having different perspectives based on. I mean, this could end up being the one that ends up being the most important.
So were those last moments from Miko enough to win him the round, or was Shane Melo's big judo throw the most impactful moment? We'll find out, but both those fighters don't want to get to the scorecards as Dusek comes on in.
See that adjustment by Miko went to the orthodox position and was able to use the striking to get inside into this position now against the fence.
Dusek trying the trip, trying to get a foot stomp going as well. Trying to get that head positioning right there as Miko Dusek. And Gino, how important is that head positioning?
Oh, absolutely. It's going to dictate how your takedown goes. It's going to dictate, you know, you can use the head for multiple positions, both in your positioning, but even to wear on your opponent as well, to get, especially for Shane being the taller guy, to lift him up to be able to get a better takedown.
Well, Dusek couldn't complete the takedown, and Melo gets a separation. They're back in the center of the cage. Moving back is Dusek. Good knee to the body there by Melo.
It's a really good shot to the body there. Miko did the wise thing to use that as his opportunity to shoot this single.
Trying to showcase his grappling even more here in round two is Miko Dusek.
And he's doing a really good job. He's going, you know, he's getting in close. You know, being the shorter guy, this is kind of going to be the most important factor for him. It was how to address the height. And this is kind of what he's doing. And this was the adjustment is, let's just stick to it. And that's what he's doing right now.
And this is where, you know, being the smaller guy, as you said, you know, he's using it to his advantage because when you're on the ground, you're about the same size. So he's trying to get the fight to him, but give credit to Shane Melo showing some good takedown defense, but now this fight does go to the ground. But Melo was looking for a choke himself. Crazy scramble.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're seeing it now. They're feeling it. We're getting into that war of attrition right now.
Well, who's got the better cardio? Both come from some great gyms here in Ontario. As Dusek's trying to push the pace, but Melo firing back.
And Shane is still throwing out those longer range shots, like those kicks at a bit of a further distance now. You see Miko put that pressure on him now, really, really trying to impose.
Good right hand that came there from Dusek, and it tries to set up the takedown again, bringing him towards his corner with 32 seconds left in round two.
And you can see that the adjustment that they made in this round is just stick to him, right? They were in the first round we saw they were kind of fighting in that pocket, but on the feet. Now they're not in pocket range anymore. They are chest to chest, and that favors Miko, especially in these positions, because he's been doing it for so long, for the vast majority of this round.
Just changing the position there. Melo had the switch, then Dusek gets it back. 10 seconds left to go here in round number two. And there's the horn. Another very good competitive round, Gino, but one you felt maybe went the way of Miko Dusek.
Absolutely. He dictated the action. You know, he's the one who, as we say in our replay, who attempted the takedown. You know, he's the one pushing forward, and he kept going back to that. He kept going back to that body lock. You know, and we do, control is part of the judging criteria, and not only is he control, but he's the one pushing forward. He's the one who has the momentum, and I would definitely score this round in his favor.
As we look in Shane Melo's corner, you can see maybe the deeper breaths coming from Shane Melo of the two fighters, though he's locked in, trying to change the tide. After that, a real good grappling round for Miko. Shane had some moments still with his striking.
Absolutely. You know, he did flash that lead front kick, which is probably something that I could see him going back to, you know, being the longer guy. He did throw power hooks, but he threw them at a longer range, so he could cover a bit more distance with it, with his height.
Quickly before this round begins, Gino, if you're in both corners, what are you saying so you can come away with the victory?
I tell Miko we got to do the same thing. We got to stick to him like glue, and if I tell Shane Melo is we got to keep our distance, flash the long-range stuff, make it annoying, make him want to stand with me at range.
Fighters touch gloves, and round number 3 is underway. As Shane Melo trying to get his striking going early, but Dusek once again wants to bring this fight up against the fence. Try to stifle those long ranges.
No, absolutely. And Shane, one thing he's been doing is been throwing those knees really well. But the problem with that is this exact thing. The knee's a short-range shot. It's allowing Miko to pull him into him off of those.
Well, this time Dusek's able to finish off the takedown and work in half guard.
And this round very much could be the decider for this fight. So if you're Miko, this is exactly where you want to be.
It's a very tough round 2, as we said, felt the way of Dusek, but that first round's really close. But Dusek trying to put a exclamation point on this fight. He's got 2 minutes and 8 seconds to do it.
Absolutely, and you know he definitely wants to make sure that they don't get stood up because these are the positions that he likes. So he is trying to stay active. But one thing Shane Melo is doing really well is he's just covering his bases, right? You can see he's overhooking the arm. He's keeping his head close to him, right? Although it's not a great position for him, I know he is stuck a little bit. He's also not getting hit with the best shots, so that's in his favor. But he does, at this point, if he is potentially down, he does want to start working his way back up because on the feet at distance is where he was shining.
Yeah, and obviously Niagara top team, they scouted that. They were able to make the adjustments in the fight, and that's what you're seeing the success with Miko Dusek right now. Just taking his time, trying to do the best he can, get some good ground and pound position, try to pass now maybe into full mount.
Absolutely. Either pass or try to ground and pound. Just at the risk that we know how much these refs are pushing that they want action. He doesn't want to get stood up here and have to start the cycle all over again. But he does look like he's doing enough for the time being, and we only have 1:10 left.
And that's the thing, that with the amateurs, we said before, that 3 minutes is really fast. So just enough action there from Miko Dusek keeps this fight on the ground and makes Shane Melo have to really try to pull something out of his hat.
Oh, no, absolutely. We did get the warning by the ref, and that actually did help him. So we saw some ground and pound there.
Some good ground and pound there from Dusek. As Dusek trying to put some style points on. Good hammer fist there by Dusek.
He's trying to get that Dagestani handcuff right there to be able to open up that hand, and he's getting some good shots in now.
You can hear it right in front of us. Big, heavy ground and pound by Miko Dusek. His ground and pound was impressive back in July in Mississauga. And he's trying to put on a show here to close it out in his hometown of Niagara Falls.
And this war of attrition right here, this is the point of difference for him. He's fusing his head on top. He's keeping focus. He's not accepting. He's throwing.
Melo trying to land some shots off his back, but right now, the positioning and the ground and pound from Dusek, and that may be enough for Dusek to come away with the winner, but what a good fight, Gino.
Oh, it was an awesome fight. You could feel the tension of them coming in, both undefeated guys, both with something to prove. You know, the winner of this fight is definitely on a short list for a potential title shot in the amateur promotions here.
Well, you can see how excited he is as Miko says it's his town, and he fought in those second and third rounds like, yes, this is his town. He owns the night here, and he thinks he's done enough to come away with a decision victory.
And absolutely, and a big factor of that was the adjustments between the first and the second round. You know, he was playing that range a little bit, and that's, I think, why the fight was, that round was so close, because he did get hit with a couple good shots. But once he decided, you know, that adjustment was, let's stick to him like glue. Once he did that, you could really see the difference in rounds 2 and 3 there.
Well, it was some good adjustments and showed some good fight IQ as well from Miko Dusek. And as well, he ate some good shots in the first round, showcased his wrestling, and when he had to pour it on with the ground and pound, that's what he did, and that's what the judges will remember.
Oh, absolutely. But what an awesome fight. What a great fight.
Fantastic fight. You can just see the levels that Miko Dusek is growing at, from a guy that made his debut back in May to now here in September. He's getting better and better each time out, which is the whole point of the amateur scene.
And absolutely, like we had previously mentioned before this, he's been doing it the right way. He built himself up very deliberately, very intelligently, and learning, and just constantly learning, taking in knowledge, absorbing, and you could see he did it there. You know, by doing that, he was able to have the fight IQ, have the knowledge, have the wherewithal to make those adjustments, and I think that's really what paid dividends for him in this fight.
Well, you can tell how confident Miko is right now. He's putting on a bit of a show in the cage. Feels he's done enough, but the judges are taking their time tabulating the scorecards, so you do wonder what they're thinking right now.
And I'm telling you, it's, you know, walking around and stuff, you know, as excited as he is, as confident as you are, when this happens, this point right now, this dead time right here, dead zone, this is the most nerve-wracking part of this whole thing.
This is probably where the point you're like, did I do enough?
Yeah, absolutely. You're trying to recount everything. You're trying to think, hey, how did this go? I did win this round, right? There's no way you're 100 million thoughts, and you know, this is right now, these two, they're both feeling it right now, even as confident as they're showing, and they very well are confident. But it's always that little seeded down in your mind, and that's the worst part.
Yeah, you're wondering if you did enough, if there were some moments you could have done something a little bit different to try to change how the fight went. Because, you know, as I say, you never want to leave the fight in the hands of the judges, but these two talented fighters have the skill sets that they will push it to the scorecards, and that's what happened. So we'll see who comes away the winner of this fight here in the bantamweight division between Miko Dusek and Shane Melo. I mean, Shane's starting to feel a little bit confident about what he did here tonight.
Oh, and absolutely. And you know, he did have his moments in round 2, you know, as well. He threw a lot of really good knees to the body. He did land a good hook in that second round, 1 or 2 really good leg kicks. You know, Miko obviously used that control in those second rounds, so I'm sure he's probably looking at it as round 1 and round 2, right? Whereas Miko's probably looking at it for sure round 2 and round 3. So it definitely, you know, it's definitely close in that sense, but both can have the rights to be confident. But again, with this amount of the time and the waiting around and stuff, you can't help it. You're just gonna get nervous. It's just, you can't help yourself.
Well, I felt round one's a pick'em round, but I think rounds 2 through 3, Miko's grappling, and definitely the third round with the ground and pound, that should be enough for him to come away with what I believe should be a 29-28 decision, but that's why we're at the commentary desk, Tino. We're not the judges.
That's right. I do feel that way as well. My perspective is more so from the side of, like, you know, you're trying to sell it to yourself almost. Like, no, I think I got it. You know what I mean? Especially when you're waiting this long and you're nervous. You go through both waves of emotions. You're like, no, I'm sure I got it. Then you're like, well, what if I didn't? Like, it's this waiting game right now is the worst part.
And the longer you wait, the worse it gets, because now even more doubt's starting to creep into your mind if you're both fighters, really. But you like to see the show of respect there between Shane Melo and Miko Dusek.
And these two top 35ers, you know, in the province, certainly. It's not all in Canada in the amateurs. Both undefeated, you know, both very well rounded. You know, of course, they're going to come in confident, they're going to feel a certain way, and you're going to end up developing that sense of respect because you both got pushed, because you both know how good you are.
Well, Gino, it looks like the scorecards, they have been tabulated. Let's make this one official with our ring announcer, Mr. Throwdown, Pete Trevino.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please put a big round of applause together for both of the fighters in the center of the cage. After 3 rounds of undefeated bantamweight action, we read the judges' scorecards. Judge McCovey scores the matchup 29-28 for Dusek. Judge Monahar scores the matchup 29-28 for Melo. And Judge Vandermeer scores the matchup 29-28 for your winner by split decision, Shane Melo.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Shane Melo. Shane, that was a real hard fight. Took a little bit longer for the judges to get the scorecards going. Did you think you did enough to win?
Yeah, I thought I won round 1 and 2. Third round was obviously all his, but yeah, I thought I did enough in the first 2 rounds to get it done. So tough fight, but all those other Miko, he's a great opponent, a very good team. So yeah.
Well, Shane, you come into enemy territory. You now move to 3-0 as an amateur mixed martial artist. I mean, now the sky starts to get a little bit higher for you. When do you want to get back in the cage?
We'll see. I want to take some time off, heal some injuries. But yeah, maybe end of the year, one more fight.
All right, Shane, who do you want to thank? Any sponsors or friends?
My whole team at Mass Boxing, my head coach, Sid Bargy, my training partners, Ian Topotowski, Jordan Texton. I owe it all to the team.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Shane Melo.
They call him Shane Melo. Or not.